Alright, so it's a little dark, but I'm going to make bromine water, adding marked off 1/4 milliliter to 500 milliliters of water. And I'm outdoors. That's that. And I can still smell it. It's that volatile. If the wind was my direction, you'd be able to smell it in my clothes for about an hour. It's not the most pleasant. It's like chlorine, except more painful. Here we have the completed bromine water. You can see at the very bottom of the bottle, liquid sloshing within the liquid. That's the bromine, and it hasn't yet been thoroughly mixed in. And after mixing, see it's still under the bottom, and it's harder to see through the bottle. It's a little bit darker now. And here we have the finished bromine water. Remove the stopper of. Sit down on glass. It's easy to wash. And to demonstrate, you can see how nice and kind of rusty orange color the bromine water has. And that's used for a quickener. If you were able to smell over your video screen, you would see that smell definite odor of bromine, although it's not overpowering like the 100% bromine. And also observe I am still wearing gloves whenever I might come into contact with the liquid, because it's quite nasty stuff. So here we are in my little dark room. I use this for sensitizing the daguerreotype plates. I've got two sensitizing boxes. This one is for bromine, the smaller one is for iodine. As you can see, I have it quite well sealed with a silicone grease, and it's just simple crystallized iodine in that one. I'm going to quickly close this up because I don't want the fumes to escape more than necessary to show you. And it just locks into place. I'll put the other one on later. To sensitize the plate, it has a drawer so you don't let the fumes out. This is set up for 4x5, which is a little bit smaller than a half plate, which is the traditional size, or one of the traditional sizes, that is. Put the plate on there, close it up, and wait a little bit of time, and you check the colors. More on that actual process later. This is just to show you the sensitizing boxes up close. The bromine box is almost identical in construction, and instead of iodine crystals I put in a small bit of the bromine water that I made earlier. These are fairly vapor tight. When I walk into this small room I don't smell the iodine or the bromine, and I get a faint hint of bromine when I open up this slider. That's just because a little bit of the vapors come out. The iodine I have not had any concern with. Alright, in this part here we have a plate that is, let's see, There you go, kind of scratched up. You see some blemishes on it. I don't care particularly about this one, so I'm just going to get some of the scratches off. Alright, so this is my buff that has red rouge on it. And I'm just going to start polishing the plate, which actually takes 2 hands, but I think I can do it this way. So I'm going to go about 100 times, but I'll save you the pain of watching me do that. And after that, a lot of the blemishes are off. It's still pretty scratched up, but it's also bent. So for this case, it'll work. So now we put it into the iodine box. Okay, and we're back to the dark room. Normally this would be a lot darker, but for showing the process, I'm going to keep it light in here. It'll wreck the plate, but that's okay. So I go. Take the plate, put it in, close it up, and we wait. While we're waiting, I can get my piece of white paper that I'll use to check the color with. And here we have a nice piece of Bristol. You can see my hands are still dirty, but that's okay. So it's been in there for about 30 seconds. So I'm going to pull it out. Normally you try to do that without touching the sides. And you can see that already it's starting to take on a bit of a yellow cast to it. But we'll put it in for a little bit longer. There are 2 sets of color changes. It goes from yellow to rose to blue, and then back to a darker yellow, rose, and blue. So we'll check back in on this in a few seconds. Alright, it's been about another 30 seconds. Now you can really see the color change. You can see it on the reflection too. So that's good for now. I'm just going to set it in here for a couple more seconds because it's been exposed to the light. That'll help undo that. I'm going to open up the bromine box. Alright, we're back. I had to do a little bit of work and accidentally let this in, but this is a great example. You can see the rose almost blue of just having the iodine there. Okay, it's been about 30 seconds, so we're going to pull it out and take a look, and you can see it's this really nice purpley rose color, which is what you want for a sharper image. So I'm going to put it back over the iodine for just a couple of minutes, and again, this would be done more smoothly without trying to touch the surface of the plate, but since this is just for showing off, I'm going to go ahead and close this box up so that the bromine fumes don't get out. Tighten it up. And let's take a look. That's almost a little bit too sensitized. But so after this, you put it in the camera and make an impression.